Friedrich August Moritz Retzsch's The Chess Players is one of his most arresting and allegorical works, a profound meditation on life, mortality, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. The painting depicts a dramatic moment where a young man, presumably a representation of humanity, plays a desperate game of chess against the devil. The young man's expression is strained and filled with dread, while the devil, seated opposite him, appears calm, confident, and malevolently amused. The setting is dark and enclosed, which enhances the claustrophobic atmosphere and reinforces the feeling that the young man is trapped. On one side of the painting, an angelic figure watches over the young man with a mournful gaze, suggesting divine concern, but perhaps also a limited ability to intervene. The chessboard itself is a metaphor for life's battles, the choices we make, and the spiritual consequences of those choices. The pieces on the board are crafted not as typical chessmen, but as symbolic figures representing virtues and vices, hope and despair, salvation and damnation. Retzsch's use of lighting is particularly powerful. A dim, almost sickly glow emanates around the devil, while the angelic figure is bathed in a gentler, softer light. The background is almost swallowed by darkness, indicating that the outcome of the match is of cosmic importance, beyond the realm of worldly concerns. One of the most captivating aspects of the painting is the way it captures a suspended moment. The young man's hesitation is palpable, the decision he faces almost unbearable. Every element of the composition points to a narrative of temptation, inner conflict, and the fear of irrevocable loss. The devil's relaxed posture contrasts sharply with the young man's tense, forward-leaning form, emphasizing the power imbalance between them. Despite the gloom, Retzsch subtly inserts the possibility of hope through the angel's presence and the layout of the chess pieces. On closer examination, it becomes apparent that the young man still has a move he can make. The situation, though desperate, is not yet lost. This revelation transforms the painting from a depiction of inevitable doom to a parable of perseverance, courage, and the importance of wise, brave action. Retzsch's technical skill is evident not just in his control of light and shadow, but in the painstaking detail of the characters' expressions and gestures. The devil's smugness, the young man's anguish, and the angel's silent plea are all rendered with extraordinary sensitivity. In terms of style, The Chess Players bridges neoclassicism and romanticism, combining clear form with emotional intensity. Retzsch was primarily known for his illustrations of Goethe's works, and this painting shares the moral seriousness and mythic imagination found in those projects. The composition recalls the age-old idea of life as a battleground for the soul, influenced by Christian theology and medieval allegory. It resonates with the concept of the psychomachia, the inner struggle between good and evil forces within each person. Beyond its religious dimensions, the painting also comments on existential despair, personal agency, and the terror of choice under pressure. The game of chess, long seen as a metaphor for strategic thinking and conflict, is here elevated into a symbol of existential stakes. In the context of 19th century Europe, a period marked by scientific advancements, but also by spiritual unease, The Chess Players taps into a profound cultural anxiety. The devil is not an overwhelming monster, but an insidious, almost charming figure, a reflection of evil's deceptive nature. The young man's youth and attractiveness make his potential fall all the more tragic, underscoring the vulnerability of even the most promising souls. The angel's passivity may represent the tragic limitation of divine intervention in a world where free will is paramount. Retzsch's use of a muted, almost monochromatic palette intensifies the painting's somber mood. The lack of vibrant colors focuses the viewer's attention on the drama of expressions and symbolic content rather than aesthetic pleasure. A heavy chiaroscuro technique with deep contrasts between light and dark evokes the influence of Caravaggio and other Baroque masters. The composition's triangular arrangement of figures subtly directs the eye across the young man, the devil, and the angel, reinforcing the emotional tension. Interestingly, the devil's gaze is not on the board, but directly at the young man, emphasizing psychological warfare over mere technical skill. The young man's hand hovers uncertainly above the board, frozen between fear and hope, a visual metaphor for moral hesitation. Some interpretations suggest that the young man represents not an individual, but humanity as a whole, caught in the eternal game between salvation and damnation. The painting invites viewers to consider their own life choices and the hidden spiritual dimensions behind everyday decisions. Rather than offering easy answers, Retzsch challenges the audience to recognize the ever-present dangers and opportunities in their personal chess games. The solemn, almost theatrical quality of the scene reflects the influence of contemporary German romantic drama and poetry. Over time, The Chess Players has been reproduced in numerous formats, including engravings and lithographs, increasing its cultural impact. Because of its allegorical depth and universal themes, the painting continues to find relevance in modern times, despite changing artistic tastes. As for the price of the original painting, it is important to note that Retzsch's original The Chess Players is not widely documented as being held in a public collection available for sale. Works of similar scale and significance by Retzsch, when they appear at auction or through private sale, often command prices in the range of tens of thousands to low hundreds of thousands of dollars. However, because of the work's fame and historic importance, if the original were to be confirmed, authenticated and sold today, it could fetch considerably more depending on the auction house and collector interest. An exact valuation would depend on the painting's condition, provenance, and market trends, but a reasonable estimate could place it between $100,000 to $300,000 USD or potentially higher. The enduring legacy of The Chess Players lies not only in its technical achievement, but also in its haunting moral vision, which continues to challenge and move viewers. Beyond its immediate emotional impact, The Chess Players also stands as a masterclass in symbolic storytelling. Every element, the posture, the facial expressions, the environment, acts together to heighten the narrative without the need for a single word. Retzsch shows a deep understanding of how to weave a visual fable, crafting a timeless message about human frailty and the stakes of our moral decisions. The painting's slow, almost unbearable tension mirrors the hesitation many feel when facing crucial moments in life. The psychological depth of The Chess Players has influenced numerous artists and writers over the years. Its haunting image of the soul caught between despair and salvation echoes in literature, theatre, and even film. Some 20th century depictions of chess as a metaphor for life and death, such as in Ingmar Bergman's The Seventh Seal, owe a conceptual debt to the ideas explored so vividly by Retzsch. The painting thus occupies a significant place in the lineage of existential and allegorical art. Although The Chess Players remains famous, the original painting itself is somewhat elusive. Friedrich August Moritz Retzsch was better known for his engravings and book illustrations, and as a result, it is his prints of The Chess Players that are most widely circulated. The actual original oil painting, if it still exists, is not currently on public display in a major museum. It is believed to be part of a private collection, although certain versions and detailed engravings can be found in specialized art archives, particularly in Germany. For those wishing to admire The Chess Players, the best way is to view high-quality engravings, many of which are preserved in libraries and museums, such as the Dresden State Art Collections, Staatliche Kunstsammlungen Dresden, in Germany. Some versions also appear in old art books or special exhibitions dealing with 19th century German Romanticism. The continued fascination with the painting, despite the original's uncertain location, is a testament to its profound power over the human imagination. In conclusion, The Chess Players by Friedrich August Moritz Retzsch remains a masterwork of allegorical art, transcending its 19th century origins to speak to timeless human fears and hopes. Through its intricate symbolism, psychological depth, and masterful composition, it continues to captivate viewers, offering a haunting meditation on the moral and existential battles we all must face. Although the original painting is not currently housed in a major public collection, its legacy endures through engravings, reproductions, and the countless reflections it has inspired in art and culture. Retzsch's vision, balancing despair and hope on a single chess move, ensures that the chess players remains an enduring symbol of the human condition, forever poised between darkness and light,